Have you ever wondered how a single tweet can cause a global panic? In the 21st century, social media platforms like Twitter have evolved into powerful tools of communication. The power of a tweet is immense, with the capacity to reach millions, if not billions, of people within seconds. A well-crafted tweet can spark discussions, influence opinions, and even drive real-world actions. Remember the tweet that caused a national debate, or that viral tweet that made a previously unknown individual an overnight sensation? The world has seen instances where a single tweet has triggered significant reactions, sometimes even global shifts. But here's the kicker. A tool of such influence, however, can also be a weapon when it falls into the wrong hands. Let's take a step back to July 2020, when the unthinkable happened. Picture this. High-profile Twitter accounts from the likes of Elon Musk to Barack Obama suddenly posting identical messages promoting a Bitcoin scam. Imagine the public's shock and confusion as more and more verified accounts began broadcasting the same message, promising to double the money of anyone who sent Bitcoin to a specific digital wallet. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. Before we dive into the nitty-gritty of the scam, let's lay out the basics of what happened. Twitter, one of the world's most popular social media platforms, was hit by what could arguably be called the most significant security breach in its history. Over the course of several hours, dozens of high-profile accounts, those with the coveted blue tick, were hijacked by hackers. These weren't just any accounts. We're talking about the accounts of billionaires, tech companies, musicians, and even former US presidents. In a coordinated operation, the hackers used these accounts to tweet out a Bitcoin scam, promising to double the money of anyone who sent Bitcoin to a particular address. The scam was simple, but effective. The hackers received over $100,000 in Bitcoin within just a few hours. Now, you might be wondering, how could this happen? How could the accounts of some of the most influential people on Twitter be hacked? Surely these accounts must have been protected by top-notch security measures, right? Well, as it turns out, the hackers didn't need to bypass any advanced security systems or crack any complicated codes to gain access to these accounts. But how did these hackers gain access to such protected accounts? The answer lies in a technique called social engineering. Scene script, social engineering, a term that sounds as complex as it is deceptive. But what exactly does it mean? In essence, social engineering is a method used by hackers to manipulate individuals into revealing confidential information. It's more about exploiting human weakness rather than technological failings. It's about trickery and deceit, preying on our natural inclination to trust and help others. Social engineering can take various forms, from phishing emails that appear to be from trusted sources to imposters posing as colleagues or IT support. Hackers might play on emotions, creating a sense of urgency or fear, or they might appeal to our desire to be helpful. In any case, the objective is the same: to trick the target into divulging sensitive data or providing access to protected systems. One of the most common forms of social engineering is pretexting. This involves creating a fabricated scenario or pretext to elicit information or influence behavior. For instance, a hacker might pose as a bank representative, convincing a customer that their account has been compromised and they need to confirm their login details. Another technique is baiting, where something enticing is used as a lure. This could be a free software download that secretly contains malware, or a link to an exclusive news story that instead leads to a malicious website. Then there's quid pro quo, which involves a hacker offering something in return for information or access. For example, they might offer technical support in exchange for a user's login credentials. Each of these techniques plays on human psychology, exploiting our trust, curiosity, and desire to help. And it's this human element that makes social engineering so effective and so challenging to combat. After all, you can't patch a human like you can a software vulnerability. Armed with this technique, the hackers were ready to strike. The trap was set, and the bait was irresistible. Now, the stage was all set for the grand spectacle. The hackers, armed with their ill-gotten knowledge, were ready to strike. They had their targets in sight. Not just any targets, but the most influential accounts on Twitter. The stakes were high, but they were confident. They had done their homework well. Each move was calculated, each step precise. It was a game of chess, and they were the grandmasters. They knew the weaknesses of their opponents. They knew how to exploit the human element, the weakest link in any security system. They had mastered the art of social engineering. The attack began subtly. A seemingly innocent phone call or email to a Twitter employee, a request for help or information. The hackers were good, their stories convincing. They played on the emotions of their victims, their trust, their desire to help. They were manipulative, persuasive. They were, in short, social engineers, and it worked. Bit by bit, they tricked the employees into revealing sensitive information, into providing access to systems they should not have had access to. It was a slow process, but they were patient. They knew that haste could lead to mistakes, to suspicion. So they bided their time, slowly worming their way deeper into the system. Once they had the access they needed, they struck. They took over the accounts of some of the most influential people on Twitter. They sent out tweets, messages that would have far-reaching consequences. They had the power to shape public opinion, to cause chaos. And they used it. In just a few hours, the hackers had control of some of the most influential Twitter accounts in the world. As quickly as it began, the attack was over, but the damage was done. The world was left reeling, with trust in Twitter and other social media platforms deeply shaken. The sheer scale of the hack, which affected high-profile individuals and major companies alike, sent shockwaves through the global community. The resulting fallout was both immediate and far-reaching. Twitter's response was swift and decisive. The platform, under intense scrutiny, launched a thorough investigation into the security breach. They strengthened their internal systems, tightened security protocols, and invested heavily in advanced cybersecurity measures. The hack served as a wake-up call, not just for Twitter, but for the entire tech industry. But it was not just the world of technology that reacted. The hack sparked a global discussion about the power and influence of social media. It served as a sober reminder of the potential dangers that lurk in the shadows of our interconnected world. Governments, institutions, and individuals alike were forced to confront the stark reality of cyber vulnerability. The lessons learned from this incident were numerous and significant. First and foremost, the importance of robust cybersecurity systems was brought sharply into focus. But the hack also highlighted the less tangible but equally important aspect of human vigilance. The hackers had not just exploited technological vulnerabilities, they had manipulated human trust and curiosity, a technique known as social engineering. This underscored the need for increased awareness and education about online safety. It became clear that protecting ourselves in the digital age is not just about having the right technology, it's also about understanding the tactics used by those who seek to harm us. The Twitter hack also reinforced the importance of transparency and accountability. In the aftermath, Twitter was praised for its open communication and commitment to making things right. This incident served as a lesson in crisis management, showing that honesty, responsibility, and a proactive approach can help mitigate the impact of such attacks. The Twitter hack serves as a stark reminder of the power of social engineering and the need for robust cybersecurity measures. It's a lesson that resonates today as we navigate our increasingly digital world. It's a reminder that in the face of ever-evolving threats, we must remain vigilant, informed, and prepared. So, what can you do to protect yourself from such attacks? It's simple, yet requires constant vigilance. Start by maintaining strong, unique passwords for each online account you have, and consider using a password manager. Enable two-factor authentication wherever possible for an added layer of security. Keep your devices and software updated. These updates often include patches for security vulnerabilities that hackers could exploit. And remember, it's crucial to be mindful of the information you share online. Cybercriminals can use your personal information to impersonate you or trick you into revealing sensitive data. Avoid clicking on suspicious links and always verify the source of an email or message before responding. If it seems too good to be true, it probably is. Learn about the latest scams and cyber threats by following reputable tech news sites and cybersecurity blogs. Knowledge is your best weapon in this digital age. Regularly educate yourself about the evolving landscape of cyber threats and how to counter them. Remember, the best defense against social engineering is awareness and skepticism. Stay safe